Yo, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to Tay TV. My video, I will be reacting to scary crime story events that will give you the chills. Let's get into this video.
Girl who waves at the police.
Hold on 1 second. Turn my volume on.
Police every
Okay, so for this says the girl who waves at the police every day. The day she doesn't, he senses something is amiss, so he senses something isn't right.
day. The day she doesn't, he senses something is amiss. Sebastian, with almost 2 decades in the police force, was fully immersed in his work, earning respect from peers and fostering excellent relations with local residents. Along his patrol route, there stood a larger house on a street corner, the only one whose owner eluded him. Each day, driving by, he noticed a young girl waving from the second-floor window, always the same window. This routine remained unchanged. She was never absent when he passed by. Sebastian secretly hoped to meet her one day. After all, they consistently exchanged waves. However, an unexpected twist awaited him. Approaching the corner with the large house, Sebastian noticed something amiss. Searching for the window, he scanned the house, expecting to see the girl, but she was nowhere to be found. This had never happened before. She was always there, every day without fail. He immediately noticed a car still parked in the driveway, indicating someone might be home. A sense of unease settled within Sebastian, prompting action.
He felt
Instinctively, he began the kind of investigation any good police officer would undertake. Unbeknownst to him, this would forever alter the course of his life. Follow me and find out what happened next in part 2.
You won't believe what happened to this man when his wife
Hold up 1 second. Cheating gone wrong.
almost caught him cheating. 23-year-old Kevin Nascimento, also known as MC Kevin, was a Brazilian famous singer who got married in 2021 to Deolane Bezerra. But only 2 weeks after their wedding, Kevin and his friend made arrangements for them to meet this model named Bianca Dominguez in a hotel room. Apparently, Kevin was staying in room 1302 with his wife, but later made his way to room 502 to meet Bianca. And I'm sure you know what went down in that hotel room. So while this was going on, Kevin suddenly realized that his wife was looking for him. And in a panic, Kevin ran out onto the balcony and tried to climb his way into the balcony below him to hide from his wife. Unfortunately, Kevin slipped and fell 5 stories. He was found by staff and was rushed to the hospital, but on his way there, he passed away.
76-year-old woman had an unwanted pregnancy. When in labor, what the doctors found in the baby will shock you. The 75-year-old woman, Adriana, she's had a very happy life. She's from Romania, but unfortunately, she never had any children of her own because her husband couldn't have children. And that makes her very sad. She dreamed of having a child since she was a teenager, so she decided to undergo infertility treatment. It was a long process. Finally, at the age of 76, she got pregnant. The doctors were shocked. Normally, 76 is past the age of childbearing. It was a medical miracle. Her pregnancy went very well. In the 16th week of pregnancy, the doctor performed several tests, including an ultrasound. They wanted to make sure the baby was healthy, that everything was okay, and so it came to the 10th month. When Adriana came to the hospital, she knew it was time to go into labor. The doctor gave her a prenatal checkup. Then they operated on her abdomen. When the doctors took out the baby, they saw it was a girl, but when they took a closer look, they found something shocking. Comment, 76 years old. Come with me to part 2.
Hush, 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 here comes the boogeyman. Don't let him come too close to you, he'll catch you if he can.
The entire Canadian town is turning into a haunted experience this fall, and in reality, the giant outdoor location is actually a movie set. The massive film set is being transformed into Hexwood, a meticulously crafted 23-acre town filled with cursed residents that feed on innocent townspeople. The town has a gas station, diner, full-on streets, and actual shops, so it'll feel like you're immersed in an actual horror movie. In total, there will be 4 walkthrough haunts along with 13 store haunts and activations. The Haunting of Hexwood runs from October 6th to 31st in Pickering, Ontario, so go ahead and get your tickets now.
A question that has long plagued police is, what do we make of the McGrady tapes? Back in 2001, at a Blockbuster in McGrady, North Carolina, a car drove by in the parking lot and just dropped a tape outside of the building. So employees saw that and they went outside to get the tape and they were like, who would drop a tape off like that?
Right.
Until they looked at it and they noticed something was wrong.
tape.
This was the tape that was recovered from the parking lot and it was completely unlabeled. According to the story, they took it to the back room where they were able to play it back, and this was the footage they found. It is a 40-minute video of a person's face looking under what looks like a bathroom stall, and it's completely silent, like straight, uncut 40 minutes of this, and the cameraman just moving heavily while they videotape this. Management turned the tape over to police, and the strangest part is that a search canine signaled that the tape had traces of human decomp on it. To this day, whoever's behind the McGrady tape is a mystery.
Mystery.
Right, okay, so Alice, based on the circumstances that we found out already, okay, I'm going to arrest you on no, listen to me, okay, I'm going to arrest you on suspicion of murder, okay?
Alice Woods sobbed as she was arrested for killing her fiancé in a game of chicken. The student has been found guilty of murder after she dragged Ryan Watson underneath her car for 160 meters. She lost her temper after spotting Ryan clicking with another girl at a party. Jurors rejected Alice's claim that the incident was a tragic accident. The high-achieving student was set for a postgraduate degree at Cambridge University, but instead faces a life in prison.
This TikTok live could be the scariest one you have ever witnessed. Tonight we are live at one of the most haunted asylums in the entire country, and we will be ghost hunting here for multiple hours. Now last time we were here, we captured a full-on door slamming shut in the basement. And in the basement, it said a dark entity resides, and people call this a demon. This is an 8-foot-tall crawler shadow figure that crawls around the walls and makes itself known by scaring you out of the building. And if you do not believe in the paranormal or ghosts, tonight might actually change your whole entire perspective. And with every gift goal that you guys send on the TikTok live, you guys get the opportunity to choose which one of us will go solo in the entire building for over 15 minutes. And if we hit the final gift goal, we will be doing one of the scariest challenges we have ever done. You absolutely do not want to miss this TikTok live because we are ghost hunting at the infamous Randolph County Asylum. So if you're scrolling through TikTok, feel free to tap into the live stream because we're going to be capturing some of the craziest unexplained activity you have ever witnessed.
Try my best to enjoy my first birthday since the world when they
New details have been released in the Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra case. As we know, Christopher Preciado and his father, Ramon Preciado, were both arrested for their involvement in the case. He is being charged with capital murder, and he's being charged with abuse of a corpse. Christopher's bond was set at $1 million. Ramon's was only set at $100,000. And Ramon already has a pre-hearing court date, which is February 6th. Look, here's their house. You can see the truck right there. So, Christopher allegedly told police that Matthew pulled the GU in first, and then something happened to where Savannah ended up getting hit. And then he ended up getting Matthew as well. But police state that his story is inconsistent with the evidence they found at the car. I just don't understand any of this. And I get that parents will do pretty much anything to protect their own kids, but come on, Savannah was pregnant. And during the walk yesterday, neither of them seemed to show any signs of remorse. Anyway, I will keep everybody updated with new details as they come out. And please continue to pray for peace and some sort of comfort for these families because I can't even imagine how they feel.
Video captured the moments when Deobra read and jumped over a bench and lunged at Judge Mary Kay Holcomb during the sentencing
Las
hearing.
Vegas judge is attacked violently during a census hearing. He just went up being attacked violently. You know, he's getting arrested. They wrecking. Oh, lunge at her, man. What in the world? These TikToks are something. It's good she was able to stand after a few minutes, but they had to escort her out.
Things that bother you, they never bother me. You have me at mine, living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Haven't got a lot, I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
If you see someone acting like this in the hospital, run, even if it's your mother. The end of the video is absolutely terrifying. But before I show it to you, I must warn you. I can only protect my subscribers who have liked and shared this video. Claire is a completely normal woman, a loving mother, a devoted nurse, a true saint. Until one day, everything changed. She began to act really bizarre. Her daughter, Alice, came to see her at the hospital. Claire didn't even blink. And the worst part is that she didn't respond to anyone, as if she was hypnotized. Then she began to make sudden and inhuman movements. Seeing this, Alice quickly took out her phone to film. What happens next? I can't even describe it to you. Then it seemed like what haunted her ended up haunting her daughter. Here is the rest of the video.
Discretion is strongly advised. On August 29th of 2018, 14-year-old Tyrone Harvin told his 83-year-old neighbor, Dorothy Mae Neal, that he would help her with some chores inside of her apartment. Before walking into her apartment, he made sure to grab a handful of condoms. Tyrone did help Dorothy with some chores before attacking her with a lamp. After that, Tyrone S.A.'d her, he fled her apartment, and he left her seriously injured on the floor and naked. Neighbors had asked police to do a welfare check on Dorothy since they hadn't seen her around for a couple of days. When officers showed up at her apartment, they noticed dried blood on her doorknob, and that's when they saw Dorothy lying naked on the floor. She was then taken to the University of Maryland Hospital Trauma Unit and unfortunately passed away that next day. When officers were at Dorothy's home, they noticed that there was several condom wrappers around her body as well as used condoms. A broken, bloodied lamp was also found by officers. Dorothy's autopsy revealed that she suffered extensive trauma to her head and genitals. There was DNA on Dorothy's body and in those condoms, and that DNA matched up to Tyrone. Despite all of the evidence, Tyrone's mom stood by his side and truly believed that he would never do something like this. On June 29th of 2022, Tyrone was convicted on first-degree murder, first-degree SA, and use of a deadly weapon. Tyrone was also sentenced to life in prison.
Escucha las palabras de las brujas, los secretos escondidos en la noche. Los antiguos dioses invocamos ahora la obra de la magia oculta. Esta noche al amanecer hemos llamado al antiguo poder. Aquí ahora las palabras de las brujas, los secretos que se esconden en la...
I need to show you how the act mirrored Gypsy Rose Blanchard's life. And specifically, I want to show you one scene because the show does not hold back. So a few years ago, Gypsy Rose was interviewed by Dr. Phil while she was still in prison. And he had a lot of questions about Nicholas Godejohn, who was her boyfriend at the time that went on to attack her mother. Specifically, he asks about the first time they met in real life, and the story is wild. Watch this. Also, I've been covering a lot of the real dark stories behind TV and film, so you should follow along.
Were you alone with him at the movie?
No, my mother was sitting right next to us, and then my mother got increasingly angry because I was paying more attention to him than I was to her.
Did you have sexual relations with him at the movie?
Yes, sir.
Where was your mother?
She was in the auditorium. We had went to the bathroom. I wheeled myself to the bathroom and he followed while my mother was still in the auditorium.
And she knew he was following?
Yes. she thought that he was going to get popcorn.
It might be shocking to hear and even more shocking to watch in the show, but Gypsy was a real teenage girl with real teenage girl feelings. She only had this one chance to see her boyfriend at the time, and she did what I think a lot of teens would do. The show is pretty accurate, and it shows just how shocking this entire situation was for Gypsy Rose. I might have to do a whole series on the times that it mirrors real life.
Knocking on that door? Okay, well I need you to come over here away from the door. Do what? No? Ma'am, step away from the door.
Alright, go inside. I don't want her here. She's been asked to leave many, many times. She doesn't want to leave. I don't want her hurt. I don't want her arrested. I just want her out of here, please, and I want it noted. I want to report. You can see she's been doing this forever. I've been waiting for my glass to come in and break. She dated my son. They're not together anymore, and I don't want her on my premises. This is my home.
Okay.
I don't want her here, and this is my son. And I don't want him coming out of here because I don't feel safe with her, with him.
Okay. Ma'am, what is your name? Ma'am, what is your name?
I don't want her in trouble. I just want her to understand she's not welcome here.
What's her first name? She doesn't want to answer me. Sandra? Samantha? Samantha, are you hearing what she's saying? Hello?
Hello?
Samantha, do you have your driver's license, your ID with you? Okay, this is going to last for a couple more minutes till my other deputy gets here, and then she's going to have two routes. One, she's going to answer me, or she's going to go to jail.
You're going to leave.
I know, she's going to go to jail.
Okay, so please, that's not what we want.
Just give me your driver's license.
Okay, I don't have it with me! You still need to leave.
Well, then you need to talk to me. I can understand how relationships and stuff like that can be very, very volatile. But this is not the way to act like it, because I'm assuming you're an adult. All right? What is your last name?
Still not.
Amanda, what is your last name?
Samantha, if you keep obstructing him, he is going to put you in cuffs. Just give him the information.
This is mom. This is ex-boyfriend, and this is.
You need to go and stop.
It's Samantha, correct?
Samantha.
Yeah, this is Samantha, who's not one to answer any questions.
This is the worst video of 2023, and whatever you do, don't go looking for it. The video that I'm about to explain has little to no backstory, though it's assumed the act committed in this video was fueled by mental illness. That's if the video is real, but it does indeed look legit. The video is short, coming in at 32 seconds in length. There's no clues at all regarding to what country the video comes from, but I'd assume it's from a Western country, maybe America. As you play the video, you see a man dressed in female clothing, and he appears to be wearing a pink skirt and blouse. He has the skirt pulled down, exposing his genitals. In his left hand, he is carrying a power tool that has been turned on, and it's a rotary circular saw. In his right hand, he holds his manhood as he holds the saw in the other. The blade screeches as the man in the video slowly moves the blade closer to his genitals, and it's clear what he's about to do. He takes a while and braces himself before he goes through with this act. The blade is extremely close to his manhood before he eventually takes the spinning blade and cuts it into his own manhood. Blood sprays everywhere, and it completely covers the man's left thigh and the table he is standing next to. In a matter of seconds, he completely slices off his manhood. He then throws it on the table and takes a few seconds to collect himself. He then turns off the rotating saw, and there is a lot of blood. You hear the man breathing very heavily due to shock. And after a few seconds, the man reaches down and picks up his own severed manhood and briefly shows it to the camera. It's truly a disturbing sight you don't want to see. The man then picks up a jar and places his own severed manhood inside of it before sealing it off, and the video then concludes. This video really made me sick to my stomach, and I'm really hoping it's fake, like the BME Pain Olympic videos back in the day, but this video just looked too real. It's very clear this man was extremely unwell mentally, and what would drive somebody to do this to themselves blows my mind, and it's extremely difficult to wrap my head around it and understand it. I'm telling you right now, do not go looking for this video. It's honestly not worth it.
Here's where it gets crazy. If you Google the Hat Man and you look at the images, you'll see a bunch of different variations of what the Hat Man might look like. fight, but almost like a police lineup. To every person who's ever actually experienced this, myself included, we can immediately point to this image of the exact shadow that we saw. This image, detail by detail, proportion by proportion, is the exact same shadow that I saw every night I spent in that room from age 15 to 18, leaving me to wonder, what is the Hat Man and why do people see him? Many people into paranormal things write off shadow figures as a demonic presence. Scientists write off shadow figures as hallucinations during sleep paralysis. And Ancient Aliens even released an episode recently about shadow people, alluding to an extraterrestrial origin. I guess I could see where people are coming from on that because the top hat is somewhat similar to what you'd imagine the Men in Black wear. However, I recently came up with my own theory that maybe there's an interdimensional element to this. What if electrical signals and artificial light weaken whatever link exists between our dimension and whatever dimension this thing is from? And what if the classic top hat and trench coat is actually just some form of technology in that dimension that allows them to access this dimension? It's just a hypothesis, but it's one that I brought up to James Keenan, who's a researcher from Skinwalker Ranch. I was interviewing him last year and I told him my theory on the interdimensional element to shadow figures based on my experience, because shadow figures are a common occurrence at Skinwalker Ranch, and he told me he thinks shadow people are jinn, which is an invisible spirit often referenced in the Islamic religion. What's even more ironic is my family moved out of that house in 2012, and in the 10 years since we've lived there, that house has been sold twice. Maybe it's just a coincidence, or maybe there's a logical explanation to that too. Have you ever seen the Hat Man? If not, maybe think twice when turning out the lights tonight.
Father and son arrested. Arrest made a pregnant teen and her boyfriend. Murders.
Are you sorry for what happened? Did you ask her? Did you know she was pregnant?
That car right there.
This is your final chance to say something about your side.
Hey guys, we're going this way.
Anything to say to your family?
Any messages for the family? You sorry?
They want to know why. Why did you do it?
You sorry?
Why did you do it?
She knew she was pregnant? That's what you say? Huh? You didn't care?
Why was the family?
Close to Christmas? Why, man? Any remorse? You sorry?
Shaking my head, man. Shaking my head.
You don't even know what's going on. Tell us. You just make stuff up. Like, oh, tell us. What's going on? Did you shoot them?
Are you in a video? Did you kill him or did you just hide the evidence?
How'd you know Savannah? You sorry?
Shaking my head, man. These TikToks, man. These TikToks really something.
Are you sorry for what happened?
What'd you do it?
You an unborn baby. What do you want to say to your family? To Savannah, to Matthew's family?
Sorry?
Really don't even know the full story yet.
Nothing to say. An unborn child. It was an entire family.
You sorry?
The most brutal cartel in Mexico just released a new video, and I'm about to explain it. The video is 1 minute and 31 seconds long. The video is shot in portrait mode, making it kind of hard to make out what's happening. As you play the video, you see 3 men lying on the ground with their hands tied behind their backs, and they are surrounded by at least 5 heavily armed sicarios. The captives also have their shirts pulled over their heads so they can't see. The sicarios kick the men as they plead for their life. One of the captives then cries out, "We are asking you to forgive us. We will cooperate with you guys." A Sicario then responds, "Shut the F up with that BS." The man then pleads again, "Seriously guys, we never even messed with you." Another Sicario then says, "What do you want me cutting off first then?" Which is met by a response by another Sicario saying, "Go ahead and remove someone's head already. Go ahead, go ahead." One of the captives then has his face pushed into the dirt and you hear him struggling for breath. One of the Sicarios then gets a knife out and proceeds to stab the victim in the back of the neck, which results in the victim making noises of pain. The Sicario then stops as he realizes it isn't effective. He then turns the victim over slightly and slits his throat. Blood forms on the ground as the victim makes horrible crying and screaming noises, which is just haunting. He continues having his throat cut as the other victims wait their turn. Another Sicario then asks for a knife and slits the second victim's throat. He then pushes him back so he's lying on the first victim who is bleeding out. Blood soaks his white shirt as blood pours out of his neck. The Sicario then decides to inflict more pain on the victim before he bleeds out, and it looks like he takes his knife and quickly pokes it into one of the victim's eyes.
These TikTok was like really like something. They give you chills. Stay tuned for my next video.